What up, people? What up? Before I get into this video, um, I want y'all to be able to stick around to hear the whole story as to um, why everything is working out for me the way it is. Um, yeah, do me that favor and stick around, because I want y'all to stay tuned for this. So, the topic of what I want to get into is me doing less than what I was doing. And, well, basically, that's what I was doing and it being better in my situation. Sorry about that. So by me doing less, I've realized that me doing less is more comforting than doing more. And let me explain why. I stated in multiple videos that I've made in the past that, you know, me, me having to prove something to somebody, to fit into society, quote unquote. And I've always looked for somebody else's well-being, or always pretty much made somebody else happy, but it never made me happy. And it took an emotional toll on me, and I got sick of it. I got sick of it. And I always wrestle with these thoughts in my mind, saying that, why do I bow down to people? Why do I let these people? Why do I allow these people to drain me? Why do I allow these people to do the things they do, and then me not getting anything in return? Just basically shame. Why am I getting treated like this? I used to always wrestle with that in my mind. Because if I wanted to act out, I could have acted out, and it could have been way more repercussions than what I've gotten. I could have possibly been in some jail, in somebody's jail somewhere, doing some time. And I just got tired of that, man. And some people, because they're so conditioned into being a certain particular way, they would think of doing those things subconsciously instead of thinking consciously. Like, this is all, it's all BS. It's all for somebody else's amusement, and for somebody's their frame of how they want to live. And I just wrestled with that for many, many years. I'm thinking that as me making them happy, I'm thinking that I'm making myself happy, but I wasn't until I put my foot down. Once I put my foot down, I'm like, I'm going to take charge of my life. I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to make myself happy. And it's basically saying, in my mind, fuck what everybody else think, because I'm not here to blend in with anybody. You know what I'm saying? This is to me, when people have come out, when people have come up, but when people have been born and raised, they're born and raised to do something of what somebody else is telling them to do. And leave in the comments and let me know how many people that have always wanted to do things on their own, right, and have thoughts of themselves, but they wasn't brave enough to take charge and do whatever it is that they need to do. Y'all raise your hand, and if y'all raise your hand, leave a looking picture in the comments and then make your comments. I want to be able to understand, if people, are in the same boat as me or feel the way I feel. Engagement, is very important to me because I would like to share this. This is a community of people that I would like to think is a safe space. So let me know in the comments. So, as time went on, I got sick of it in my mind. I just kept saying, man, I'm so fed up with this shit. Something needs to happen. I need something to change, right? And it was basically all upon me to make it happen. And I hate the fact that it's like that because obviously this world wasn't designed this way. But people are so conditioned to think another way that you wouldn't get any help. You wouldn't get any help at all. And so when I put my foot down and decided to live for me, I just didn't care no more. And by me not caring, it has become so freeing, y'all, to not care so much. Because if you care, I believe in my heart of hearts, if you care too much, you're going to what's the word? You're going to physically limit yourself to do whatever it is that you want, and whatever that looks like, you know, not being in somebody else's shadow. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that with people in general. Like I was always in the shadow of them, trying to appease them. And I've always said, like, what about me? Because the kind of person that I am, I love everybody. I want to see everybody win in life, no matter what it looks like. And I'm not here to be your judge, jury, and executioner. No, I'm not. But what I won't do is I won't talk down to you. I won't do things like that to make you feel less than. Whatever the path that you take in your life, whether I want to agree with it or not. That's the kind of person I am. But a lot of people, they're not like that. They let the conditioning of their minds corrupt them and rob them of that space of being a freeing person. Which in this planet, in this realm, you're not going to be entirely free, right? Because we're living in hell anyway. We're living the hell on earth. A lot of this chaos and people going back and forth with each other and unaliving each other and just being a competition and just doing the unnatural things that people is doing than what they should be doing, which is loving. This world doesn't have enough loving people in it. You know what I'm saying? And I refuse to be a part of that, to be a person that's highly conditioned. Because in my mind, these thoughts are not mine. They're somebody else's thoughts, that has been planted into my mind to act and feel the way that I feel. You know what I'm saying? Which is going with the herd, which is going with society's rules. I'm tired of that, man. A title or job or just me in general shouldn't dictate how you're going to have a relationship with me based on those things. You shouldn't, right? You should be able to know me for who I am. Not outside of a title, not me getting up every day to go do this and do that. That all that stuff that you do is extra. It's a plus. But I'm not going to be that kind of person to go with the herd just to be seen and just to be liked. You know what I'm saying? And so once I took charge of that in my life, I started doing less. And what I mean by doing less is what I'm doing now, And if I have to make money in some kind of way to generate some income, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I don't feel as though, oh, damn, I'm so pressured. Let me go ahead and try to go find this job just to appease somebody else. When in reality, it's not really making me happy because that's something that I'm comfortable with doing. I don't like doing that. You know what I'm saying? For my time to be taken from me, and I'm not able to utilize it doing nothing else. Nah, it's not. It's not me at all, y'all. And again, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this, because they're hard working class people, because that's all they know is hard work. You know what I'm saying? But I can guarantee you the percentage rate on this planet for people who work hard, it ain't adding up. There's no benefit to it. It's just basically giving you little trinkets and shit like that to keep you constantly being on a hamster wheel. You know what I'm saying? And me, when I basically got kicked out, it just gave me so much clarity. It's more like, JP, you have control of your life and where you want to go and what places you want to be in the circles that you want to partake in. You have that ultimate choice, which in life, I think a lot of people, they don't have that choice because they subconsciously don't know that they do, that they don't have that choice because they have to follow with the herd, which in fact you do. You know what I mean? You have that power to control your life. But again, I'm going to repeat this again. The conditioning has got you thinking some other way. You know what I'm saying? And I had to step out of that, man, because that's not me. Fakerism, just pretending, which a lot of people on this planet do. They pretend a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be that person pretending that, well, let me go ahead and go get this job, man, because my mom or my dad said this, or any part of my family or any of my friends telling me that, man, you won't make nothing of yourself if you don't go get this. And what that situation is, my rebuttal is, who gave you these instructions to tell me what I need to do? Was it society? Or was it somebody else behind the scenes that's pulling the strings? Because last time I checked, there's millions of folks out here struggling, you know, for no fault of their own, based on this system that has indoctrinated so many people into believing that you work for so many odd years. I'm gonna say so many odd years, but 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 decades, and then when you finally retire, you don't have a long peaceful, successful, happy life. And if you do, because I know there's probably some people out there that do, look how many years you got left on this planet to just live free, or what your version of free is. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, everybody's not entirely free, but their version of what they put out is freeing to them. And if it's freeing to them and it makes them happy, that's how they live in their lives. But the thing is, in this process, is that a lot of people don't. They feel like you shouldn't have the life that you should. You should be doing what we doing, And if you don't, we're going to shame you. We're going to make sure that you be miserable because you're not doing what we do, which is being with the herd, just like sheep. Everybody going one direction. There's nobody deviating, going left. Nobody's going behind. Nobody's going backwards. Nobody's going pushing past those people. They're not doing it. What they're doing is that they continuously, mindlessly doing what it is that somebody else is doing, and they feel like that's normal. But to me, it's unnatural. I know what I'm doing right now is me making this video and me sitting up in my room. Is they feel like that's not productive. If anything, it's counterproductive. But it's productive for me, because just think about it. If you go to these companies, you overextend yourself to make that company happy, are you going to get paid back that same gratitude for the time wasted with years and days and months and years and time? You think you're going to be getting a fair, equal trade? You're not going to get that. Instead, you're going to get a broken down body. You're going to not be able to think straight, depending on how your health is at that time. And you're going to be going to the hospital a lot, based on you trying to push everything to the side for that company, or you're working for those people, then as opposed to working for yourself. And whatever that looks like, you're going to do it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are fearful of that, and they conform. And see, the difference between me and them is that I'm not conforming anymore. My type of conforming is what I want to do. And if the interest is there strongly, I'm going to partake in it because I'm curious to know what's happening with that. As far as everything else, nah, man, I'm not in a position anymore to do that. I'm not, and I'm not going to. And my thing is fuck who don't like it, because what I eat don't make you shit. And the way I feel in my heart, because I have a big heart, is that basically have support for everybody, whatever that may look like. But hey, that's just me. The way I feel inside, and so this newfound way of living for me and taking control of my life is such a spiritual thing to me. And I'm not religious by any means, but it's very spiritual, man, to do something that you've not ever known to do your whole life, and then basically take it back over, and you pretty much have the floor. The floor is yours to do whatever, however you want to create. Whether you're doing this on YouTube or whether you're doing something else with creating a life for yourself. Most people don't know how to do that, man. And if they do it, yeah, they working and try to build something on the side, which that's cool too if they want to, but you don't really have that much time in between building your craft and what you want to build for yourself as far as your life in general. People want to be out here wealthy and they want to have tons of money to live. And, this world is not designed for that. It's not designed for you to be making money and be all kinds of rich, and then you have a lonely life, and then you don't have anybody to share it with because you're working hard for the money, but you're not working on your characteristics. And um, I think it's hard for a lot of people to work on their characteristics. And if they say to themselves that they're trying to juggle, I mean, they can juggle everything just fine and still be themselves. They got to ask themselves a deeper question than that, because I don't believe that's possible. And if it is, again, drop it in the comments and let me know if you're successful in what you're doing about working for somebody else, or going into it by yourself in whatever it is that you want to do with your life, and be satisfied with it, regardless if it has anything to do with money or not. And a lot of folks don't know that. And me, myself, right? Because I don't want to do something, that other person should be triggered by what I don't want to do. But that's the conditioning. And so, I'm trying to figure out how to put this in words. Like, what I truly believe is, man, like, everybody should have the opportunity to do whatever it is they want to do. But we don't live in that type of society. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to adjust, right, to have a somewhat normal life for myself, because you really can't get around the noise. You know what I'm saying? 1 second, y'all. Yeah, as I was saying, you can't really, get around that stuff. The only thing you can do is navigate through it and be smart about your moves and what you're making, and how you do things, right? That's what life is about, because we live in a world full of crazy people. We really do, and for no farther on, I believe it's because of the conditioning, but still, then people I have to separate myself from, because they don't have a positivity and probably no bone in their body, and why would I want to surround myself with them kind of people? It's just not natural to do that, man. So, I'll say this in summary, man. Not summary, I'll say this and then I'll end this video. That don't think too much, y'all. Don't think too much. Just step out on a limb and do it, man. And again, our conditioning is basically to be fearful of a lot of things, and to not step out on faith or do whatever it is that you need to do to take over your life. And I'm gonna say this, another thing. Of course, we don't have full control of our lives, right? Because obviously, it's like we're in a prison within a prison, and we think to be free, and we're not free. We still have a latch hold of something, or maybe multiple things. But what you can do is that you can make this less about being inside of a cage or being inside of a prison, and to be able to do whatever it is that you need to do to make that shift. Because once you speak life into the things that you want to do and how you partake in it, these things are going to manifest. Because I truly believe that whatever you say out your mouth is going to be manifestation, right? Whether you stick to your firm beliefs or not, you'll manifest it. So, yeah, I'm gonna go, y'all. And so I'm gonna highlight y'all in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video, and cut on the push notifications so you won't ever miss a video whenever I drop it. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.